poet, a gentleman. He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer.
Lawyer nenga alunda nkoko poet yabakola. Poetry sikwe kulunda nkoko.
Ditacha, let me first finish my introduction to So this gentleman is a lawyer. He graduated at Makerere University with a bachelor's in law. Then last year he graduated with his diploma from LDC. He was the best in the country. He's a writer.
Yakopa. He cheated.
He's a writer and a poet. Who's one of the best writers and poets we have in the country. Mr. Rushongozabe Gumya.
Hey,
welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming.
Nice to be here. Nice to finally meet Ditacha.
You're starstruck, eh?
I'm starstruck. Yes.
Anyway, so Rusho, today we are talking about poetry in Uganda. Anyway, so we're talking about poetry in Uganda. Poetry in Uganda has really had a stunted growth as compared to countries like Kenya, South Africa, countries like America. In America, we've seen a young lady like Amanda Gorman reaching an extent of performing at the swearing-in ceremony of the president. We would really want to see Ugandan poets at such a stage. Can you first introduce yourself, talk about yourself, then we get into the topic?
Hi everyone, my name is Begumi Rushongoza. I'm a Ugandan writer, lawyer, producer, chiller, basically.
Okay.
I'm a writer. Yeah, so ndi muhandisi, ndi mutontomi, ndi muyiribi. Yeah.
Kagwe Ditacho chitegedde poetry chetuliko poets, not poetry. Go wadi ochogera
poetry wa nkoko.
No, olaba engeri jabadde mukomera. Oza ada yagala nyama maji. Ada agasuwa.
Anyway, so why do you think poetry in Uganda has not yet reached that level where people will organize an event and say that let us call a poet?
Maybe the very first thing is that we should not have a very narrow definition of what poetry is.
Yeah.
Right? Because essentially what poetry or kutontoma is basic is best words in best order.
Okay.
So in that cluster of poets we have rappers.
Okay.
Right? Right? We have pastors because the Bible is written in poetry.
Oh.
Hey.
Nice. Okay.
The Bible is written in poetry. We have traditional folk artists. Right? We have politicians because speeches, a lot of these speeches are poetry.
Poetry, yes.
We have movies and script writers, right? We have vocalists. I mean, if you've listened to the new Azawi album, for example.
Yes.
Right? If you've listened to Ditacha's rhyme scheme.
I am a poet.
So poetry is just the basic art form from which a lot of other art forms sprout.
Okay.
So I don't think that it has. If you're using that analysis, then.
By this, but what I mean is this kind of poetry where you stand and recite a real poem. Because I've attended your show.
The smaller ingredient, the atom in it.
So, like you guys have had poetry shows specifically for poems. You get? That is what we are talking about. That is what I want to know.
I think that the reason why that genre, that specific genre of poetry is not as successful is because it's not organic here. It doesn't come from here.
Okay.
You get it doesn't.
Okay.
If I'll give you an example. We have traditional poetic expressions in our communities, right? We have okwevuga, we have okutontoma, we have all these things.
Yes.
Right? And so then we have this post-colonial era, the pre-colonial, the colonial era, where you have all this poetry and Manya Shakespeare, what to come in, right? And then, like, because this thing is not from here, a lot of people do not relate with it.
Okay.
Right? And so
you're trying to say Ugandans do not relate to poetry?
I am saying that genre of poetry has not been, people do not relate to it.
Here in Uganda?
Yes. But poetry has found expression in a lot of other different genres
Okay.
that people relate to. If you listen to all these guys at Kwevuga, you will never do a show against a person who does Kwevuga,
Yes.
or against GNL. You know, there are people who have come from, I think there is a dissertation on GNL's music. Someone who, yes, I think the University of London or something, that has done a dissertation on GNL's rap.
Wow.
There was a dissertation on Kafero's music. You get
That was poetry also.
So you had poets like Kafero, like Basude, who converted the poetry art form into something that we could relate to. And a lot of people who have failed to do that are struggling with like this European thing.
That way of thinking. Nenga jukira nafe tradition twalina zizi nagende ebuddu nendya enkeje lwaki tewaziretako. Then verse bagisu. Also have poetry when you are going to circumcise.
Yes.
Ati baga sheto omwana afane baba ati bagala iya. Then okwevuga izini legamba no.
You know how to Kwevuga?
I mean a little. Yes.
Try.
I'm horrible with Kwevuga. I write better in Luganda, for example.
Okay. Start in Luganda.
Okay. So you want me to like freestyle in Luganda? Okay. So I just want to do like a very random thing, right?
Random selection.
What I'm just going to ask a random question, all right?
Yes,
Random set of questions, right? What are the things you want in life?
The women.
Me. Success.
What do you want in life?
Money.
You want money?
Obviously.
Eh? Nayenze. Nze njagala vibe.
We got a vibe.
Zegere. Njagala vibe. Olaba. Njagala nkole sente ngeza sudira. Eh? Ngotula butuuzi ku side ne bakusudia. Oshegere. Eh? Nenjagala omuntu agambe kusidulu bya Ruhanga. Ndoza yogereko ne Daniel Lutaya. Oba buleko ne Nahanga. Nti. Anyway, njagala vibe. Okitegere. Njagala muzino weekend ezisigaddeyo. Tufunayo ku mbaga y'emeka. Oshegere. We want God to make a miracle. Njagala abe Masaka. Betereze. Batusindikire ku nsenene nga tukyalina season y'ensenene. Mwana njagala season eno mani yekabenga buli weekend. Oshegere.
Nebyala bingi. Okwefeze okwevuga atuvuze.
Okutontoma. Okay. So what should we do? What should Uganda do? What should we do as Ugandans to embrace this style of poetry, in that we also find that a poet is invited to, let's say, a swearing in ceremony of the president. A poet is invited to a conference to perform a poem concerning a certain situation, like Amanda Gorman in America.
I think that as a country you've already embraced poetry. You've already embraced writing.
Writing, yes.
The way you embrace GNL, the way you embrace Munji.
Yes.
I think that the job is with us poets to create a product that you relate to, right? Before Chameleon became big, there was Shanks VVD. The problem was he was doing riff raff raga. Chameleon said, look, I'm going to convert this raga reggae sound into something that you relate to, which became Afrofusion, Afro soul. Right? So there is no indictment on the Ugandans. Ugandans have been doing amazing supporting art.
Okay.
The problem has been with us, right, who want to use Western style expressions in a non-Western society.
Wanna be like Emeka.
Yes. Anyway, nze njagala kumanya olowooza ki ekiyinza okuinspiring omuntu akuwuliriza n'agamba nti okay, njagala bukeere nkyanga ninga you get it? Ntinga nange ndi poet. Kiki olowooza ekiyinza okubeera nga
mulimu ssente temuli.
One, I really hope people don't look up to me. I really, really hope so, because
why?
It's such a huge burden to carry for me. Why should I inspire other people? What I want people to do, though, I'm happy that when we did Light, for example, one of the things I'm happy is people to relate. You get, you relate to Chameleon's sound. You relate to the stories he tells. So the thing that would make people engage with your work more is if you tell a story that they relate to. And like true art never, like you listen to Bane or Kofi Olomide, you don't understand anything they're saying, but you relate.
You rhyme to their music.
So mu bufunze tetwegomba Amanda kubanga eyo genre si yaffe. Okitegeera abantu tebagitegeera tukole ekyo kati ng'abawandiisi like
yewe kinabeera mu
bantu bawansi.
In essence, just go do your work. Tell a story. Tell no one had to tell GNL. Just tell your story. people relate to it. And also maybe this Amanda Gorman thing, because I think that people are so obsessed with platforms and spaces.
Yes.
If I had to choose between doing the president's inauguration and doing a show in Katanga, I would take Katanga every day of the week.
Why Katanga?
Why? Because those people have more in common with me than
the president.
Not the president, but the possible attendees.
Okay.
I don't know if I have anything to tell dignitaries. I have everything to tell people in Katanga because I grew up from Monaco. I come from zero. I've sort of figured something out of life, and I want to share those stories with that group of people. So just communicate to a group of people and try to create an impact.
Ngabo watugambye tuyagala vibe.
Tuyagala vibe, man.
Kati wo relating n'omuntu wa once already bakuwa vibe. Ate kitagenda kubeera kati nga wolaba
I'm not going to go to Nakasero and tell people about Rolexes. You get? Yeah. But that's what I eat.
You have a poem on Rolex?
Poems on everything.
Emeka. Musoka mtuleko for a poet ababiri nache jagala kubuza nonga poet. Kama bacha abantu fa abagezi. Africans abagezi katola sajanga Ngugi wa Thiong'o mumanyi. Kati yali James Nguge. Tegera kati gwe ngenzo kula boyogera amanyago yo like me nzange nze gidongo binyalika. Tegera sina manyaga no bukoli simanyi biki.
Ayambarija magezi.
Ulibalize Collins kati gwe nawe erinya lyo likwese.
Rushongoza begumya.
Lwaki abadugavu gwe tugeziwale nnyo tuleka amanyago. The James Mabutu bamwita. Joseph. Nafuka Mabutu kukuwaza banga. Kati gwe nawe uli Rubongo yani ono. Rushongoza
nendireka.
Rusho, we can't introduce.
Maybe the thing is, maybe the very first thing you need to learn that when the colonial government or the colonial system came here, it tried first of all to alter the identity of who the people here were, right? And give them and that process of erasure is to remove your Chiganda culture, and give you something that looks Western. And so a lot of people, when they arrive at that moment of reflection and discover, this thing was actually wrong, this is why I have this surname, maybe that's why they changed, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, as we leave, have you written any books?
Yeah.
One book or you have a couple of books?
I have two now, I think.
Okay.
Let them not be like Tamarez. Very short one with
you said you have a poem on Rolex. In just a minute, recite for us a poem. One of your poems about a Rolex, about anything.
Like I said, I just want to tell stories, man. So if you have the time, I want to talk about love. Right? But what I want to do, and she quarreled about it, and that's what I want to express, right? You see, the problem I want to sort out is this. Like, I don't want to talk about love conventionally. And that's the problem I have with like Reggie and all these people. Like, when we're talking about love, what are we talking about? Like, we're talking about, oh, you melt my heart and stuff like that. And so I'm asking...
Killing me softly.
So I'm asking whether there are people who love and like how I love. Right? And so I have this poem that I wrote. You just need to give me 5 seconds to find it. I have this poem I wrote called 16 Wrong Ways Why I Love You.
Hey! Give us like 4 of them.
Wrong ways.
16 wrong reasons why I love you.
Yes.
I love you like Arsenal loves to lose. I don't know what I would do if I lost you. I know I would lose me too.
Hey!
I love you like dentists love cavities.
You want
and while other girls are trying to extract money, you extract my flaws. I love you like a certain East African president.
Hey!
I love you like a certain East African president loves a certain constitutional amendment. But never mind, I'm never amending how I feel about you. I love you like I love the TV series Narcos. Except you know the story of an addictive drug and Western capitals fight with the Colombian narco terrorists. You are the capital city of a country that gave me love, that gave me asylum from these love terrorists.
Alinamu.
I love you. I love you. I love you like midgets love high heels.
There is no better way to start up your morning than waking up to the morning saga.
5 times the